coverage of
Boston Marathon 2021!
Woohoo! WACA and Around the Clock's coverage of the Boston Marathon. I'm your host, Yolanda Greaves, and I have with me Joe Mignani. Joe, welcome back.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be back, even though it's 6 months earlier. You know, it's okay. We're here. Well, as you can see, the race has already started, and we're looking like we got a great day.
Woo!
Well, we're back Monday, Marathon Monday, and we're here with Stacy Kaiser. She's an officer with the Ashland Police Department. Good morning, Casey. How are you?
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you. I see that you have something different on your uniform. It looks like a pink patch. Can you tell me about that patch and why we're wearing it today?
Yeah, absolutely. The Ashland Police Department is participating in the Pink Patch Project. That project originated out in California in 2013. And since then, hundreds of agencies worldwide have joined the effort to raise awareness and the importance of early detection and treatment and education for breast cancer. So October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that's why we have the patches.
So Chief Briggs gave the okay for this to happen, and which is a nice thing to do.
Absolutely, yeah. Chief Briggs gave us the okay. So from October 1st to October 31st, the men and women of the police department are allowed to wear the pink patches. We're also selling the pink patches as well. They're available to the public. It's a $10 donation, and all the proceeds are going to go to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, where can they send their request to?
So if you want to stop by the station, just ask for me. I'm Officer Stacy Kaiser. You can send me an email at skaiser@ashlandpd.org, or you can mail a self-addressed and stamped envelope to the police station to my attention, and we're doing cash or check donations. Like I said, $10 a patch. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stacy. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
This definitely hits close to home for myself and my wife. As you know, my wife Donna, who's a matron and traffic supervisor for the Ashland Police, is a breast cancer survivor for 34 years, and it was nice that you guys, you know, made that show of appreciation for all the efforts that she's done. So we want to thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm glad. I'm glad she survived. She's been cancer free for that long. That's incredible news. And yeah, any way we can show support, we're always happy to help.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that, and thanks for taking time out of this wonderful day we have going on here. We appreciate all your efforts, and we hope that this is a great fundraiser for breast cancer research. And thank you to the Ashland Police Department for doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Hello, we are out on the marathon course in Ashland, and we have our annual Marathon Day interview with Bob Tarosian, also known as Coach T. Coach T, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks. It's a great pleasure to be here.
So tell us exactly why you're standing here and what you and this group is going to be doing.
Well, here in Ashland, we have 2 sets of traffic islands, and we're in front of the first set, which is right at the 3.1 mile mark. And we're here to help the runners negotiate going left or right around the islands and not stumble over it or through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they set us up here. They put the caution tape around the islands, and we have a bullhorn that I think Cal has in his hand right now, or it was behind
back
us.
there.
That will make the announcements to the runners as they come down the street and make sure that they go left and right. We also have a crew of 2 people at the set of islands that are in front of Fitzy's Car Wash.
Okay. How many years have you been doing this job?
1989.
Wow.
How many years is that?
A lot.
20.
We won't make you do the math this early.
From Texas, huh?
Yes, sir.
Nice and warm down there.
Love it.
So tell me about Team Chris?
Team
Yes.
Chris.
Team Chris. Awesome. What about Team Chris? Can you tell me what this is all about? Whose idea was it, number one?
Well, it was her idea to run the marathon.
Our mom.
Your mom.
Our mom loves
Your
running.
mom is running the Boston Marathon.
She is.
It's now time for the Around the Town tour here on Around the Clock. Now we're going to head over to the corner spot for Fall Festival. This is a way to kick off the new season of fall. There was a great music and food. Thank you to Wine Empire for being there, and to Cousins Maine Lobster, as well as other wonderful vendors. Let's go take a look and a listen.
On the rain will fall like tears from the storm, like tears from the storm. On and on the rain it will sing. How fast shall we go? How fast shall we go? How fast shall we go? How fast shall we go?
Hello and welcome to the Select Board update for the meeting that happened on Wednesday, October 6th. We are doing it outside at the marathon route as we get ready for the 125th running of the Boston Marathon to pass us by. The meeting started at its usual time of 7 p.m. We had a little bit of citizens participation, and then we jumped to our consent agenda as we waited for our 7:10 appointment. At our 7:10 appointment, it was a great introduction of the Ashland Marathon runners. Each year, the BAA gives Ashland about 20 numbers that we can use to give to those who'd like to raise funds for the BAA grant program that the Select Board does. We got to meet some of those runners right here in Ashland. We have some great stories, and we look forward to sharing that with our Boston Marathon story. We then went into old and new business, and we have a recommendation from the state to go to 6 precincts rather than our current 5. We approve that as a select board. It will go through the process. Those 6 precincts will become effective in January once we go through the full process. There will also be a lot of information out so people will know if they've changed precincts, and that will certainly happen for a number of Ashland residents. From there, we discussed an open meeting law response. We had an open meeting law violation from a December meeting. It came in March, and the state has decided that it is not a valid open meeting law complaint because it was not filed in enough time. We then went into an update on inclusionary zoning. There is going to be an inclusionary zoning forum held on Monday, October 18th. That you need to register for, so please look out for that information and register and participate in that discussion. We then had an update on the special town meeting that's going to be happening on December 1st. It's a Wednesday night. We're going to be looking at a zoning article and a few other things. As we finalize them, we'll make you aware of them. We also discussed the addition of a Keno monitor at Marathon Mobile. The state had let us know that that was going to be happening. It looks like at this point it might be put on pause. The owner was with us for a few minutes at our meeting on the 6th. From there, we went into our priority project update. We started with the Rail Transit District. A lot of new information for that. UGC, United Group of Companies, is moving forward with their plans. Some of there's been a slight appeal process on their permits, but they are still looking to move forward. From there, we talked about Trolley Brook Trail. It is almost done, and we are looking to have a ribbon cutting sometime in November for that trail. So we hope that many of you will join us for that. We then talked about the YMCA. They are looking at strategic and looking at the plans for the YMCA. You'll see a lot more push come January as they get ready to do some major fundraising once they have a preliminary design of the potential of the YMCA. I say potential, but we know it's going to be happening. From there, we talked about the dog park. Again, the dog park is also happening up on Memorial Drive. You'll see the Dunkin' Donuts, then the YMCA, then the Trolley Brook Trail, and then eventually the dog park. We are in design phase for the dog park. Once the design has been done and approved by the Stanton Foundation and our local organizations, so the Conservation Commission has to look at that. Then we can look at applying for the construction grant. Plus, the dog park committee is still in fundraising mode. They have to raise between $20,000 and $30,000 in matching funds. So if you have a dog and you're interested, make sure you check out either their website or Facebook page. From there, we talked about the downtown construction. Things are moving there. We're going to be having to go under the tracks, and that's been pushed off a little bit. And you'll see some construction working now, but they'll probably take a slight break once they hit the winter months. We talked about the public safety building in Mendez. Public safety, all you have to do is drive by it on 135, and that is moving forward very nicely and on target right now. The plan is to have it closed up before the winter, and they're on track to have it open and available come next August. Mendez School has passed its permitting in the planning board and in front of conservation. They're in the process of looking at some other things, and they are looking to hopefully have a groundbreaking come November. Route 126, again, all you got to do is drive by Route 126. A lot of the utility underground work has been done in regards to the gas work and some of the sewage. There is still some drainage issues and some other water issues that are being taken care of, and you see the big pipes as you drive on 126. The work down at the Holliston line is moving forward nicely as well. From there, we got a slight update on the Valentine project. We are working with a construction engineer to look at cabling the interior of the barn so it can stay for the winter, and then in the spring, we'll move forward with some other things. We're not going to just replace the barn and the foundation, because the barn itself, the structure of the barn, is not going to be ready for that yet. Next, we have our town manager report. There's still planning going on for ARPA funding. If you'd like, you can go to the town website and put your input and take the survey on the use of our ARPA funding. New COVID testing site happening at the Ashland train station. You can look for that. And as we're doing this, we just had the first wheelchair athletes drive by. The last thing was a Legacy Farm update stormwater use. There's been some issues. The construction happening on Legacy Farm in Hopkinton has been going into our reservoir, and we are working with the town of Hopkinton on that. And that wrapped up the meeting for Wednesday, October 6th. We ended at around 9:30. Thanks for watching the Select Board Update. We're now going to head out of town with our Ashland Fire Department as they go and do some burn training in Milford. This is one of those trainings that they do regionally, and they were using the site in Milford. Let's go see the training that they received.
My name is Captain Lynn Moorhan with the Fire Department. I know a lot of you guys know me. We're here doing our annual live fire training at the Milford Training Center. I'm going to switch it over to our training officer, Lieutenant Matt Boland, who arranged and coordinated all this training that you see us doing here today. So, here you go, Matt.
Thank you, Cap. Good afternoon. Like the captain said, my name is Matt Boland, Lieutenant and the training officer for the Ashland Fire Department. Here today with the members of Group 2 and Group 4 on the first of our 2-day training scenarios that we do here at Milford. The reason we're in Milford is because Ashland, we do have a training tower, however it's made of wood. So we don't have the ability to do live fire training at that facility. So the town of Milford generously allows us to come over here and train. So a special thank you to Chief Nelson and Lieutenant Salmon for allowing us to come over and use their facility today. As you can see from some of the footage you shot earlier, the firefighters are here today honing their skills primarily on 2 functions. One, structural firefighting operations, where the firefighters practice all aspects of how we would normally attack a structure fire in Ashland or any community we would go to. And the other thing we were focusing on this morning was what we call rapid intervention team training. And that was a special skill that we as firefighters use to save ourselves when we're in trouble. The primary thing we encouraged everybody on today was not only homing their skills, but team building. That's our primary function here today, is to encourage the guys. This is live fire training. We focus specifically on safety here because we are under live fire conditions, but we encourage the guys to work as hard as they can and build on that team aspect of what we have to do to make everything work out well for us and have a safe outcome during firefighter operations. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and watching some of what we do. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to call us at Ashland Fire.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Around the Clock. Joe, thank you so much for joining me as we did our Boston Marathon coverage.
Thank you for having me. It was another pleasurable day. Little different.
Little different, yeah.
But it was fun. And I'm sure everybody that was on the sidelines watching it saw a difference too.
Yeah, it was definitely different. I mean, even just where we stand, we usually, see the crowd split from side to side, and they all got to stay to one side, and
right.
a few less spectators, but they're still, they're wrapping up too.
Yep.
We are going to dedicate this show to Ozzie Iarusi. He did a lot on WACA-TV, a couple different shows. Joe, you knew him pretty well. What are your thoughts?
I knew him all my life, and when you said you guys were going to dedicate this, I just got a little emotional again, as I would, because I've known him. I've been here 66 years, and out of those 66 years, I think I've known him for 60 years. Great man, a very behind-the-scenes type of guy. He would help out people, but he didn't want any accolades or anything. Him and his wife had a little grocery store in town, and when people were hard up on money or whatever, he said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "I'll see you at the end of the month."
Now, what were the shows that you remember him doing on WACA-TV?
Oh, the cooking shows were probably one of the best. Just him and his son, Soup to Nuts, was totally awesome. I mean, I used to love watching Brian and then Susan and Dave trying to upstage their father, and it never happened. It would never happen, because Ozzie would come up with a story that would be just, totally incredible, and that was him. That was Ozzie in a nutshell. Always had a smile on his face. Never heard him say anything negative about anybody or anything, and family was very important to him, as it is for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And that's what he based his life, his religion on, and that's how he lived his life. So,
Great.
I'm glad that you guys dedicated this. Ozzie, we miss you. Arrivederci, as we say, until we meet again.
Well, thanks for sharing those memories, Joe.
Thank you.
And that wraps up another episode of Around the Clock. Thank you so much for watching.